Right guys, this is such a huge privilege. We are here in the Ping putting vault, the gold-plated putting vault, with John Solhiem, the son of Carsten Solhiem, and the CEO, is that right, of Ping?
Yeah, Chairman, CEO.
Chairman and CEO, and what a phenomenal honour it is. And this room is amazing. You said how many putters are in this room, John?
There's over 1,800.
1,800 putters, and these are all winning putters.
Correct.
Wow. I mean, who's the player that's got the most? Is there a player that's got the most in this room?
Well,
I know Westwood's got a lot in here, hasn't it?
Westwood has a lot. Seve has a lot.
Yeah.
And then Tom Watson has a lot. But some of Tom's are on the senior tour. I think he's got the most right at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but
He's doing okay.
Some of his are on the senior tour. But you know, Seve probably has the most in the, both the U.S. majors and the European tour.
And he won. Was he using answer?
Yeah,
was answer his main one?
Yeah,
he never deviated away from that. Always an answer.
Pretty much always, always an answer.
That's amazing, and it brings me quite nicely on to the next question. Is there a standout single shot in a tournament from a Ping player that really kind of you remember as the best potential shot you've ever seen from a Ping tour player? Over all the time.
I mean, that shot of Bubba's in the playoff
it's the one that I'm thinking of. I mean, that was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I mean, it was an impossible shot, and he pulled it off. And I mean, even his buddies, the other tour players, were on the left side of the green watching him, and they were ducking because they thought he'd blown it, and then all of a sudden.
But the timing of it, for what it was worth, and the actual situation he was in, it was one of the most incredible golf shots that's ever been displayed. And you must have been loving the fact that he was a Ping player. I mean, he's played Ping from a young age, hasn't he?
Yeah, since he's 8 or 9 years old.
Interesting fact we learned yesterday about you only really take on tour players who have always played Ping.
Yeah.
I think there was one, wasn't there? Langer?
Yeah, Langer,
you signed on, but everyone else you've taken on from a really young age.
Yeah.
And you must have loads of really good, talented young golfers coming up, lined up, ready to play Ping.
There is.
Is it a hard decision sometimes to pick the right players, or do you?
Well, back when they're amateurs and stuff, we work with a lot of players, and continue through college, and when they get on tour, that's that kind of separates them out.
Yeah.
Then, but it's kind of an amazing thing, the way it works.
Last question: if there was one player that would stand out as being the best ambassador for Ping you've ever had, who would you put it on? Is there a standout player that has really given a phenomenal service to Ping?
Well, there's been a number.
I mean, this is like saying, have you got a favourite son, really? I mean, it's quite a difficult.
No, and I mean, we go through a few generations of things, because today Bubba's awfully strong.
Yeah.
Lee Westwood has been awfully good, but Bubba's got the notoriety. He's his own person.
He's a huge personality.
He's a huge personality. But then you got longtime players like Bob Gilder and Mark.
Calcavecchia?
No, the Ryder Cup captain, Mark James.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Who were just longtime Ping players.
Yeah.
And Calc, you're right there. He's a
and Cabrera, and you've got such a wealth of great
Cabrera,
players.
Cabrera is one of my favorite, because I mean, where he came from, and the guy can play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's phenomenal. I don't think he's anywhere near finished.
No, he's always a good bet for the Masters.
Yeah.
He is. We're going to jump over to Pete. Pete's got a couple of questions. Thank you so much for your time. Honestly,
thank you.
It's such an honour and privilege to be even in this room with yourself. So we want to thank you, and I want to thank you as I've played Ping many times and loved all the clubs and products that you make. I can't wait to test the new stuff.
Well, yeah.
We've been itching.
I mean, the technology today that's available and the materials that are available it's just phenomenal. This
Yeah.
is the most exciting time in all of my 57 years of building clubs.
Crazy.
Because, you know, it used to be we were limited so much, but today you can actually experiment with materials and develop your own blend of metal, okay, that you couldn't do unless you got, you know, thousands of pound vats of metal.
Yeah.
And
Well, you were talking about the history from your dad and
yeah,
how much hard work it was to do the clubs back then.
oh yeah.
And now,
No, I mean, the grips would take 3 days to put on back in the.
No.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you had to make an underlisting, which ours was cardboard. Okay, so you dipped it in Elmer's glue, taped it onto the shaft, wrapped it on, took a tack and tacked it down, let it dry for a day
yeah,
or more. And then we'd actually cut the flat on for the face and then the angles to get the shape of the grip. Okay, then we'd dip it in a waterproofer material so that if you got it wet, it wouldn't absorb moisture and change the weight of the putter. Okay, then you'd wrap the leather deal, and then the waterproofer had to wait a day to dry too. So it was a multi-day process to put a grip on, and now you go, whoo.
now you can buy them on eBay and do it yourself. I mean, it's crazy the way it's changed. Right, we're going to jump over to Pete, and then we'll thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.